sort of a state of affairs in the world. And then he's going to hand over to Paul, who's going to give some additional updates about the incubator. And as I will cover volunteering in the incubator, I will cover the incubator itself and projects, new projects, that kind of thing. Then we will have Rania present Tribex and the progress that has been made on that project, and then we will wrap it up. So with all that being said, again, if you have any questions, go ahead and write them in the chat, and otherwise I'm going to head off to Afsal, who is, back now. Okay, good.
Great. Can you hear and see me, Tom?
Yes.
Great. Thanks for the introduction. So you already said it, you already mentioned it, but just to repeat it, I'm new in the T4P staff team, part of the marketing team. And today I'm going to talk a bit about the current state of affairs, just to acknowledge what's happening, of course, in Gaza right now. And then I will move to some tech-related topics. So let's first take a moment to look back at some of the major and, of course, horrible events that shaped the month of April for the people in Gaza. The first thing that we wanted to highlight here or mention is that the Israeli forces, again, they have recently bombed Gaza's Al Ahli and Nasser hospitals, forcing both patients and displaced families to flee once again. And the second thing is that Israel has sealed off Rafah, and they issued new forced displacement orders, continuing the pattern of pushing Palestinians out of their homes. Then the third thing is that also the killing of journalists, it doesn't stop. Some journalists even were targeted directly last month and even burned alive during the Israeli attacks. And then the other thing is, maybe you've seen it already, but Gaza has been under a total blockade for over 60 days right now, leading to famine, unsafe drinking water, and a collapsed healthcare system, of course. And then I cannot see the slides, but on the next slide, so after the 4 points that I just mentioned, so this is actually not from April. This is actually something from yesterday or the day before yesterday. But Netanyahu has openly said that the population of Gaza, that they may be moved as part of an intensive operation, and many reports suggest that Israel now aims to take full control of Gaza, including aid access, possibly even expelling the population. I still can't see the slides. But can we go to the next page, please? And if I'm correct now, we are looking at the slides from Microsoft birthday anniversary, right? Thanks, Paul. So yeah, I think most of you already saw it on social media, but it was very brave from both Ibtihal Abu Saad and Vanya last month that they protested the company's involvement in the Israeli military operations. I think to make it more specific, Microsoft AI technology is being used for Israeli military operations. And Ibtihal was even fired right away after speaking up. And Vanya, she resigned shortly after speaking up. Yes, so both spoke out against Microsoft's alleged AI contract with Israel's Ministry of Defense and its complicity in ongoing violence. But I think most of us saw it already on social media. Then if we go to the next slide, something that also happened last month is that it became apparent that Meta has hired a large number of former Israeli soldiers, and that, of course, raises serious concerns about biased content moderation, especially as we already know that pro-Palestinian voices, they continue to be heavily censored across Facebook and Instagram and other meta channels. What goes, of course, hand in hand with that is that leaked data has revealed that a massive Israeli campaign aimed at removing pro-Palestinian content from meta platforms. So yeah, it's been a month again where technology and politics have collided in ways we can't ignore. And again, I assume that most of you've already seen our highlights already on social media or maybe in the newspapers. But if something that I mentioned was new to you, feel free to send me a DM and I will send you the links to the articles. And thanks a lot. Handing over to Paul for the ARC updates.
Thanks, Afzal. Some pretty harrowing stuff there, especially tech's involvement. So we are obviously trying to make things a lot better. And this marks about a year after we started the Tech for Palestine incubator. We didn't announce it for many months after it existed, but this was the first sort of time that we recruited a couple of people from the community to join the incubator. Boycat and Newscord were our first projects in the incubator. And we have been working pretty tirelessly to increase the amount of projects that we're supporting, to increase the amount of support that we provide to projects. Tom mentioned earlier that we are coming in for some with some funds now to help support these projects for their expenses in particular. And then part of what we're have also been doing is helping folks with launches, with reach, with connections to the ecosystem, whether that's from marketing or whether that's connecting to the right folks for, let's say, the project that you're building, and of course volunteers. So we've there's over 3,000 volunteers in our database, and we try to connect these two projects. So we'll get a little bit more into the stats in a minute or two, but wanted to update you on our upcoming E4P webinar as well. So E4P is started as one of the Tech for Palestine projects, but we sort of rolled it into official Tech for Palestine because it's it overlaps so much with what we do and what we wanted to do. So the upcoming webinar from E4P is the Palestine Tech Ecosystem. That was, as I said, upcoming. That was today. And so you can check out the stream. I presume it's going to be, you can find it on our YouTube, and I presume someone will link to it right now. Okay, let's go forward. Thank you. So these are some of the stats from the Tech for Palestine incubator. The second one, let's start there, the 59 projects onboarded. So our goal for this year is to onboard 100 projects. That doesn't mean that they all survive. It doesn't mean that they're all, thrive. But that's kind of the metric that we're trying to do. We're trying to get projects started, and then we are figuring out the rest of it as we go. In particular, how to get these projects having a lot more impact and how to support them. And we've made a lot of changes and improvements along that, but I'm not going to get into that too much. Our goal, of course, is to start 10,000 projects. So that's what we're trying to move to. We're trying to make sure that the ecosystem of Palestinian support exists everywhere, that there are people at every niche section of the ecosystem to support Palestinian liberation and to counter Zionist and Hasbara propaganda. So we received 252 projects. So I suppose what's that, 1 in 5 that we accepted, 1 in 4 maybe. That's a little lower than I thought it was going to be. Actually, I thought we were higher than that. But we take projects through an interview after the application, and so I guess that we probably take half projects for interview, and of the interviews we probably accept half of them. We've launched 7 projects, I think that's a number that we're not massively proud of. That number should be much higher because there's a lot of projects where we have given them other support that wouldn't quite count as launch. But I think our marketing team had been really broken for a lot of last year, and thanks to Afzal, it is doing much better now. So we're going to see that number go up a lot, and that's a number that we've been looking to improve aggressively. So fingers crossed that we get that working. But we've been supporting projects in lots of other ways, and one of them is we have this is over 1,500 volunteer applications and volunteer requests from the projects. Over 100 volunteer requests. I don't know if I have an exact number, but I most recently estimated that we've probably placed 150 volunteers, including in T4P and not including the project leaders. Okay, and next slide, please. And then this is what it looks like from the project application. So you can see the vast majority of our projects are from the US, and the next largest section, Canada, the UK, and sort of you take Europe as a bit more of a whole. It adds up to a lot there. Surprisingly, we have 2% from Israel. Don't remember what that was about. Could have been fun to look that up. And about 9% from Palestine, which makes sense because we're mostly advocacy in the West. Although we do support quite a number of projects in Palestine or that have connections or that are working on the ground in Palestine. And then projects onboarded by month. So you can see that just disappeared for me. But the started slow when we launched, which was I think in October, November. We got a huge spike, a little bit of a shutdown for Christmas, and then started up again, and we are on track and increasing. So that is where we are. The intent, as I said, is for the end of this year to get to 100 projects created or supported. We have a project leader list. So if you want to lead a project but you don't know what it is, go onto the website and join that list. We also have a list of projects that we want to get started. So please, look on the website if you would like to start one of those projects. Apply to the incubator, and we can give you those support that's needed. Great, and then I will transition over to Aza to give the volunteer updates.
All right, thank you, Paul. Okay, so I also can't see the slides, or I see the Tech for Palestine Community Call slide right now, but I'm going to talk a little bit about volunteering and ways you guys can support us. So before I jump into some of the specific needs on the volunteering at T4P slide, we rely, all of our work is done, and we rely on volunteers like all of you guys and all of us. And so it is what fuels us. It is what keeps these projects going. We have opportunities of all kinds. I'll share more about where you can see the latest and greatest, but we need everything from technical folks to non-technical folks. We have projects that are long-term in nature. We have projects that are short-term in nature. We have projects that are just, we need someone to do some testing for a couple of hours. And so I encourage you to submit a volunteer submission application, fill out the details, and be realistic about if you can help, where you can help, and how much time you're really willing to commit. I know I emphasize this on every call, but one of the, while folks have the best of intentions and want to support, one of the things we struggle with is volunteers that sign up. We spend time, we invest, we train them, we introduce them on project teams, and then after a few days, they're just, they can't commit and they can't regularly show up. And so that's very disruptive for projects and teams because it sets us back. And so While we do rely on volunteers, it is very important that if you're going to commit to something, to just be realistic and make sure that it's something you can juggle and really sign up for. And when you are speaking to any of the project leaders or any of us about a role, be really clear and ask the right questions, figure out what is expected, what's needed, and just be really clear and upfront on what you can do and what you can't do. That's one of the biggest ways you can help us is if you're going to say you're going to do something, show up and do it. And otherwise, there's other ways you could support for T4P. So with that, I will jump in to volunteering at T4P. There are a couple of roles that I'll highlight. Tribex, which we'll hear more about from Rania soon, has a few needs. They're looking for some back-end developers, and specifically, we're looking for folks with Linux system admin background. We need infrastructure support for hosted services. We're looking for folks that have experience using Ansible for automation and orchestration. The Tribex team is also looking for core Tribex backend developers to help with the broader suite of tools that they have. And specifically, they need people with Python and Node.js skills. And so if you have any of that experience and you have the time, send us a note and let us know. Tribex is also looking for a grant writer or funds manager, someone with experience finding and filling out grant applications and forms in France and Europe is a big need there. And so if that's something that you have experience with or you know someone, please send them our way. We also have a number of projects that need some UX UI design support. So we have Tribex, Ethics VC, and the Messaged app built with Apartheid is also looking for, and UX UI designers, both short-term and long-term. So specifically, we need folks that have skills with knowledge of accessibility tools in UI design. We're also looking for TypeScript developers with Cloudflare. And we also have one of our projects just need someone for a few hours just to do some consultation on design and flow. So the UX UI designers, again, we have everything from a couple of hours to long-term support. If you have any of these skills or you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And then the next slide, if there's more, I highlighted a couple of roles here, but there are certainly more needs that we have. And so if you want to go learn about ways you can get involved or some of the other opportunities that are available, please go check out the website. You'll also find information about the specific projects, so you could see a little bit more about which projects need what and what the specifics of each project are as well. And then with that, we are going to take a couple of minutes to just talk about our volunteer superstars. So we do have volunteers that spend time, they're juggling personal lives, they're juggling work responsibilities, and they dedicate a ton of time supporting projects. T4P is all volunteer driven. And so we're going to take a moment today to acknowledge someone. It's probably long overdue. Someone that I'm really honored to work with, and this is a really special volunteer. And so with that, I'm actually going to pass it to Paul to take it over from here.
Thanks, Aza. So there's one volunteer who's really been ultra dedicated to Tech for Palestine from almost from the start, has been all over the place, done everything. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize Tom Hall. Absolutely fantastic. We asked a bunch of project leaders and staff from Tech for Palestine what they had to say about it, and the words that they use are dependable, selfless, always offering support without hesitation. He's always shown up unconditionally. He's platformed us without ever asking anything in return. kind, patient, and prompt, a pillar of support across time zones and teams, always calm and empathetic, his deep technical hands-on knowledge, yet very humble, very well read on the Palestinian cause. So just, Tom, absolute all-around support, and I can honestly say that Tech for Palestine would not exist today, and I don't think would have survived without the absolutely dedicated support of Tom Hall. Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you, Paul. I didn't have that on my slide, so I didn't know this was it.
All right, back to you, I think.
I'll pass it to Mohammed now. Mohammed, are you there? I thought I was passing it to Mohammed.
Has Mohammed been invited to speak? I don't see him on the speaker list.
He has his hand raised. So I think we need to invite him. Can I do that?
Right.
You see his hand raised there?
Yeah. I don't see that it's possible to bring him up, though. We might have reached a limit here of how many people we can have up.
Okay, you can get rid of me.
Still do not.
Might be technical issues. I think he often has some technical Discord issues.
Mohammed, can you request to speak again?
Sorry about this, folks. We'll have this resolved in just a second. I suspect he's restarting.
Oh, yeah. Speak.
All right, so maybe we should continue on with the incubator projects, or should we move over to Rania?
Yeah, why don't we just jump to Rania, if you're ready, Rania, and then we can...
Yeah, sure. I can go and then we can wait for... Mohammed is right here. I can wait, it's okay.
Oh, there he is. Okay, great.
Hey everyone, I'm very sorry, but Discord is heavily restricted where I am, so I've been struggling to connect. So I'm also not feeling well, so I'll spare you seeing me in my pajamas. We'll jump straight into the projects. So in April, we've onboarded a few very interesting projects that come from diverse sources and very capable entrepreneurs that are really committed to the Palestinian cause. I'll start with Gaza Gate, or in Arabic, Bawab Gaza. The founder is Gazan, and he has seen his people in Gaza struggle to access humanitarian aid due to the scattered information and widespread online scams. Plenty of scams just to collect data from Gazans, possibly from Israeli parties. So this Gaza Gateway website organizes and verifies aid opportunities and other resources such as job vacancies, scholarships, across multiple platforms, making trusted information easily accessible to those in need. So jumping to the next one, Boon Digital. We jump from Gaza all the way to Washington, and an experienced programmer who's decided to set up an ethical digital studio specializing in moving companies off Zionist while providing stable employment for activists. So their immediate focus is moving their clients' websites off platforms such as Wix, whilst also trying to offer other incentives, such as better prices or improved performance. The third project for today is Shahadat. Shahadat is an Arabic word meaning witness accounts. This project comes from a doctor who's volunteered in Gazan hospitals, and they're keen on documenting the horrors that they've seen by creating a website to publish witness accounts from the Gaza genocide. It will focus at first on healthcare workers, then survivors and freed prisoners, and finally move to the general population. Seen, very interesting project. The founder group, they want to help Gazans today, so they built a website that offers a safe space for people struggling emotionally to co-reflect anonymously with what they call certified active listeners. And within the project is the certification program and the training for those listeners. So the website fosters genuine human connection and well-being. They're looking to leverage AI to accelerate training of certified listeners, amongst other use cases. Moving to Voices for Palestine, many people, as we know, feel helpless when they see what's happening in Gaza, and they don't know where to start. They want to help, they want to do something, but they don't know where to start. So this is their go-to website. It's an all-in-one centralized platform. I think it's a mistake to call it a website. It's a platform for Palestinian activism. It connects activists at all levels, whether they are students or corporate workers and so on. So the intention is to cover for different profiles and figure out how can you become an activist at work, at university, without potentially getting in trouble, or if you get in trouble, what to do. So it's a how to become an activist kind of website. And the average person can easily start finding a step-by-step guide. Finally, Israeli.company lists companies and public figures supporting Israel. So we've heard this a lot, plenty of boycott applications, but the edge of this project is it's not just companies, it's figures, celebrities, politicians. And it also looks at the other side, which is who supports Palestine, whether it's companies or people again. So it spans beyond some of the boycott projects that we have today, and it certainly has the opportunity to enrich the database of many other boycott platforms by serving as an API. So I think that's it from my side for the incubator in April. And Rania has been one of our very dear projects as part of Tech for Palestine. It's a Tribe X. And I think she's managed to really get into something that we all have been postponing. A lot of us have been putting off, moving off Google or ditching our Gmail accounts because we feel it's too much. Rania is here to tell us how can this be done step by step without losing any of your data, or if you're going to get into trouble, how to avoid it. Over to you, Rania.
Thank you so much, Mohanad, and hi everybody. My name is Rania. I'm the founder of the project Tribe X. We've been incubated with Tech for Palestine for I think a long time. We didn't really calculate it, but I'm here to tell you more about what we're doing, our project, and what we're focused on. Okay, so I'll turn off the camera because it's better. Our tribe, our association is focused on creating a movement to decolonize technology with the focus on the centrality of Palestine. But what does it mean? So we put it in 3 objectives, really. The first is education, which is we're trying to teach people about what's happening in the intersectionality of discrimination. The second one is we create different tools. And the third, which is our biggest focus right now, which is the migration programs. The migration program, we have our goal is to migrate. Hopefully, we help 1 million person migrate. So why do we migrate? So the second slide. Thank you, Tom. So of course, migration has a lot and many reasons. There's the censorship that's happening right now on Facebook, on Instagram. There's also a lot of surveillance that are happening. Like, for example, there's what's happening in the States, for example, they can really track everything that we're sharing on the email or even on WhatsApp, and they have all the access. And there's also the biases that are happening inside the tech. Of course, we know the algorithms. If you used to ask ChatGPT, what does ChatGPT think about Palestinians' rights, and we all have seen that. And there's also the economic exploitation, which of course we know that the Silicon Valley is profiting from every single apartheid on earth, and even South America, in South Africa and Palestine, and it really has a lot of economic exploitation. So we split it on really 3 parts of migration. The first level of migration, if we can go to the next slide, please, Tom, which is fast and quick and really easy switches. The fast and quick easy switches, which do not require a lot of migration. And this is what we're going to focus on today. So, for example, how do we enter the internet? How do we access the internet? We have the search engine and we have the browser. The easiest things, for example, is to use Brave Search and the website, which is, I will put all of them right now on the messages, so you can check it out, which is Brave, for example, and DuckDuckGo. They work well for searching. We have the browser. The browser is Firefox. And we have for messaging, which is a lot of us have been doing. We can move to Signal, which is easy. You can just download the application and use it instead of doing that. And also the VPN. The VPN, as you can see, Proton VPN is really good and it's free, and you can download it on your Firefox, and it's really for free and it's really well. And the last thing, which is the video service. The video service, which is Jitsi. Jitsi is open source and it has a lot of instances. An instance, it means a copy. And if you use the copy that we have on the slide right now, it might ask you to log in. But I put on the chat right here is a copy or an instance of Jitsi that you could just click on it and you can start any video service with any of your friends or at work. It's very easy. The last link I have in my chat is, please, we ask you for donation, but it's okay. The second thing, which is the second level that we are not going to really talk too much about it, but it's super easy to do with Proton, actually, which is the second level, which is the migration. It's not really on the slides, but there are levels. First level, which is the easy ones. The second level, which is the migration ones, which is your email and the social media. And the last one, which things that require changing the operating system, which we're not going to do this. So what TribeX is doing is we're doing counseling. We can help you set up these things step by step. We can help you migrate from Google to your Proton. We can help you set up your calendar with Proton calendar. We can help you set up your Drive with also Proton Drive. So we try to help you all step by step and in counseling one-on-one. And I'm here all the time for Facebook moms, for anybody that does not have any tech experience. We do it step by step with everybody. What we have done, we thankfully managed to help more than 50 people through our events because we create workshops for digital migration. They come for us, we sit with them, everybody with their laptop, and we help them either move the first level, which is the quick and easy and effortless switches, or the second level, which is the Gmail and migrating from Gmail to Proton. And we also reached more than 30 people from one-on-one counseling. They reached us, they sent us a message, and then we sit with them. We do a video chat and we talk with them and we help them step by step. The next slide, Tom, thank you, please. So of course, there's a lot of challenges. We know that people always say they need Microsoft, but there's a lot of alternatives. There's LibreOffice. The only difference is just there's a curve of learning. This curve of learning is not so hard when it comes to Proton because they have the automatic migration button. They have the easy switch. For example, and as I said, in the level 1, you do not need to migrate anything. You could just download these applications and use them on a daily basis. The next slide. Please, thank you. Yeah, I think I while I'm speaking, I said about all of this, and the good part is if we all migrate, they will not be able to really control all of us, and it's one of the biggest tools of resistance. Now we know that all our data is being used to train AI, and all of this AI is being used against Palestinians. So if we can forbid them from taking all of these data and starve them from our data, it would be fantastic. And there's also a question if there's a fee for the one-on-one counseling. We do it for our teams. We do it for anybody. There's no problem. And if we can go to the next slide, Tom. This is it. What we can do, we can help on one-on-one support for each level. And we have guides. We're creating guides. And we're also helping the communities where now we're trying to reach people in Palestine. We're also reaching people in Egypt. We're reaching activists. We're trying to see what would work best for them, what tools do they need, because we're also trying to create a tool that could help people migrate easily. But we also need to know what tools people need to use, what open source tools are actually ethical, because, for example, we have an example of Mattermost. Mattermost is actually using the data, even though it's an open source, but it's still using the data to train their models for the US military. So even just open source means nothing. So we need to really search data by data and service by service, and we really need to read about every single one of them. The last thing is we do workshops. We do workshops about tech and propaganda. We do workshops about the centrality of Palestine and why in the digital environment we need to centralize Palestine. We do also workshops about identities. We talk about gender and all of these issues, identities and power dynamics. We do all these workshops, and we don't have them recorded yet, but we do them live, and we do them per request. And the last slide, I think, Tom, if it's possible. Yes. So what we can do, which is pretty simple, choose one of the services and migrate one per week. Just one. You check the list from the slides, take them one by one. The first thing is, okay, you can do the video service, easy. Put the website and put it on the bookmark. You can download today maybe Firefox, or as people are suggesting, Acostia, or Brave, or even Brave. That's very good options. Take one simple company and boycott it, and support, of course, the Palestinian tech. There's Donate to Hamla. Hamla is a fantastic Palestinian tech entity that always needs your support. Educate people by sharing these guides, and contact us and let us communicate with people if there's people that need more understanding of how we can migrate, how we can move, why we need to migrate. We're always here for education. And please, we need volunteers. I think there's another slide, the last slide, Tom. Yeah, that's it for me. Just I tell people, please, we always need volunteers as much as possible. We're a group of women, Palestinian and Egyptians and Tunisians. We always need support, and I put the link for donations. We also need donations because we're using alternative technologies. And I'm always open to please send me a message on TribeX if you have suggestions for tools, if you have suggestions for help or places where we can reach out. So thank you so much. Please send any questions you have, and thank you again.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Rania. That's amazing. So I think that's all we have on the agenda for today. Do not forget to follow our social medias. We have YouTube, GitHub, Instagram, and X showing up there, but we also have Blue Sky, Mastodon, TikTok. We're going to start actually being active on TikTok here pretty soon, so look forward to that. And let's see if we have oh, here's our Blue Sky and our Mastodon and LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn company page you can follow, join. And I believe that's all we have. Do we have? Yeah, thanks, Dima. I don't think anybody wants to see that. Anybody have any questions? Or did anybody happen to notice any questions that did not get addressed in the chat? Because I was having a hard time keeping up with everything. Just scrolling through. Oh, Jay Kashi did ask if there was an English version of the Gaza AIDS site, or any plans to translate it. I don't think either of those is, I mean, I know that there is not currently an English translation, and I don't think that they have a plan to translate it at this juncture, but. Scrolling through cloud migrations. Nina asked about cloud migrations. Yeah, that would be a good thing. We actually just started using a Swiss company called Exoscale in place of AWS, just because it's Swiss and they have some of the basic features of AWS that we needed. But yeah, Rania, do you have any plans to eventually look at helping with cloud migrations, or are you sticking with end user services?
It's we have, of course, the B2B and the B2C plan. So it's, of course, we have both, but mostly now we're focused on the clients since we're connected to users. But of course, at some point, we're going to be tailoring B2B. Like you said, I suggested Infomaniac and stuff like that. But once it comes to cloud, I think we have a lot of suggestions.
Cool. And where are the links to the company that shows who is supporting Israel? Is a question. Oh, Israeli company. Okay, link is there. Great. All right. Well, I think that's about it. So we are going to wrap up 10 minutes early. Thanks everyone for coming. Hope it was informative and interesting, and look forward to seeing you all in the community and or here next month. Thanks everyone.